All right, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, like I was explaining outside when I met you, it's my job to basically explain what we have going on today, to educate you on the smartest way to purchase your next vehicle, and last but not least, to try to earn your business. Now, if I do the first two things right, then the last part will come easy. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a visual learner. My wife can tell me something 1,000 times and it never sinks in. But the minute she writes it down or draws a picture or illustrates it, it just makes sense to me. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and created a little visual to explain to you better exactly what we have going on, and I think it'll actually help to make sense. So what we have here is we have the dealer and we have the bank. Now, not a lot of people realize, but a dealer does not actually own their used inventory. They actually take out a line of credit from a bank. So in other words, they borrow money from a bank. And that's how they purchase all of these vehicles. Like I said, I'm not much of an artist, so bear with me. Now, all of these vehicles that they have onto their lot, they refer to as a floor plan. Now, every 30, 60, and 90 days, there's an interest rate for each one and every one of these vehicles that can go up, sometimes as high as 1 to 5%. As it gets older on their inventory, it can go up more. So what have they done before in the past? Well, they have a vehicle. Not that there's anything wrong with it. They put all their vehicles through a 144-point safety inspection. The last thing that they want out there is a liability. But they take these vehicles and they decide, you know what, let's just cut our losses. And in the past, they've taken all of these vehicles and they send them to an auction. Have you guys ever been to an auction? Well, growing up as a kid, I went to auctions with my grandfather, and the reason he liked to go to auctions is because he could buy things on his terms. What is it worth to you? That's exactly how our sale is designed also. The reason this doesn't make a lot of sense, though, for the dealerships to send these vehicles to the auction is, number one, it costs them money to transport these vehicles. Number two, they have to pay the auction a percentage based on what they sell the vehicle for. Last but not least, number three, they're not guaranteed to sell the vehicle. So you mean to tell me, let's pretend for a second, we're the owners of this dealership over here. We own all these vehicles, and we know that we're going to take a loss on them. So what we decide to do is invest more money to transport these vehicles, to pay a percentage of commission, even though we know they're going for less than what they're worth. And at the end of the day, we may pay to bring them to the auction and have to pay to bring them right back. To me, that does not make a lot of sense, and to my company, it doesn't either. That's where we come into play. My company is Fleet Liquidators. We travel all over the country and contact dealerships and banks and explain how this is an old-fashioned way of doing business. We tell the dealer, why not leave the vehicles right where they're at? Guess what? It doesn't cost a thing. They're already there. Let's spend a fraction of the money that we would to transport these vehicles on invitations and prizes, and let's invite the public. A lot of people think these sales are gimmicks, but they're not. They're going to invest money to move these vehicles to take a loss, or they could leave them right where they're at, discount them heavily, and give real prizes out. We hope that someone wins the car or someone wins the $25,000 cash. They're all insured. But what you can build value in as the public is, number one, it's going to be easier to get people approved. Anytime you can buy a vehicle for less than what it's worth or what it books for, it's a no-brainer. What bank doesn't want to loan you money? I remember when I was younger, me and my wife, we just got married and we went to try to buy our first vehicle. Everywhere we went said, we can't get you guys approved. Well, what I know now is they could have gotten us approved. They just wouldn't make any money, so they told us that they could not help us. We don't turn down anyone. We help as many people as possible, and in most cases we can pretty much get anyone approved. We're telling people yes that are used to hearing no. Number two, you can save thousands of dollars. We bring in additional, sometimes all the way up to 10 or 15 lenders to make it very competitive to earn your business. Number three, we need your trade. If you're going to take one of our vehicles, then we need your vehicle. It makes sense. Now we got a vehicle that's fresh on our inventory. It is my goal And my company's goal during a sale like this to beat up the dealer and beat up the bank to make you guys happy. You get a buy on your terms.